It's heartwarming to see such an awesome turnout today. Really, really, it's inspiring. That's not even the punchline. I'm saying, because I'm not looking out here, I'm not talking about the crowd size. I know the crowd size doesn't matter. I'm talking about me. Look how nicely I turned out after the 4 years I've spent here. No, I know, I get it. I was born at the top of the pack, but my journey was not without its struggles. Thousand Oaks High School, yes, it hosted most of my growth, and it had a distinct pleasure of documenting my fruitful journey from freshman year to senior year, and it taught me a lot educationally, sure, but I could have had an education anywhere. The reason TO made me confident enough to stand in front of you all and boast is because of what it taught me without actually teaching me. But let's look at it this way. Even though this speech, for example, is completely about me, and I wrote it, that doesn't mean it's for me. It's not for me, and it's not for the staff, and it's not for the administration, and it's not for this lovely crowd, half of which probably cannot even hear me. But it's for you. It is for us sitting or standing here on this field. That's what today is about. It's about celebrating our last day as Thousand Oak Lancers. This is it for us. Whether we leave today with the ambition to go to more school, or go join the military, or to go travel, or to go enter the workforce, we have to go do that. Once we go off this field, we are gone, graduated. Yes, I'm sure we would be more than welcome to come back, but I can personally guarantee that coming back will not be as students. I know some of us are more sad than others about that prospect, but if you can say to yourself right now that you won't miss a thing about Thousand Oaks High School, I am here to tell you, you did it wrong. You really did, because this was an amazing institution, and it gave us every opportunity to succeed academically, socially, to become involved. The succeeding academically part, well, it was child's play for me. But I do fear that my parents, at the very least, at the start of all this, were worried about the getting involved part. Because I know it's hard looking at me, but shockingly, I do not play any sports. My parents, and in part my little sister, pushed for me to join a sport. Not too hard, but hard enough to where I was suspicious that they just wanted to laugh at me and my forehand-eye coordination on the field during a game. Their rationale was that they didn't want people to think I was just a quiet observer. If only they could see me now. They're in the audience, by the way. Their mentality really wasn't awful. Because when most non-high schoolers learn that you're in some way involved in your high school, they will then ask about your involvement in your high school. And the conversation so typically starts with, well, what sport do you play? I don't like this question. Yes, there were always myriad sports options, but I reserved my minimal athletic ability for occasional appearance in Hacky Sack Club. The point is, the best part about TO was always the resources we had at our disposal. I didn't need sports because I had everything else. I had the resource of involvement through podcasting along with Nick and Austin in journalism. I had mock trial, I had theater, I had Cameron and I having to lead Interact Club, and there was a lot. I had everything available in my facet if I wanted to. I had amazing teachers, advisors, clubs, likable administration, extracurriculars. Granted, it's hard for some to believe, but I didn't do it all right. One of my biggest regrets was my lack of participation in spectator sports until the senior year, namely sports such as soccer, football, basketball, volleyball, wrestling, water polo. But let's get back to the matter at hand. Some people did it all right. And some people, like me, did it mostly right. And we are both sad. But the people that did it all wrong are the ones that aren't sad at all. This year, I had the distinct pleasure of leading Campus Quest tours. Campus Quest tours are where I led families pursuing other high school options for their students, and this is when I started to realize just how much I took Thousand Oaks for granted. We're pretty great. I mean, on the same tour, I could see different students operating at totally different levels, both academically and socially. And depending on what I would say about Thousand Oaks, I could see different sets of eyes light up. And by the end of the tour, I was completely blinded. Because of the lights, it's blinded by the lights. A little more, that'd be great. So if you were like me, and you did some things wrong, or even if you did it all wrong, I'm here to tell you that that's not wrong. That's okay. Even though we're graduating, we can still learn from TO to take advantage of what we have. I, for instance, am attending a massive SEC school to compensate for my lack of attendance in school sporting events. You see, just because we're leaving, it does not mean that we're done learning from Thousand Oaks. So if you did TO wrong, make our class proud, and don't do life wrong. Because we really should miss this stage in our lives. And if we don't, it's fine. Just make sure you make the next stage worth missing. As you can tell, I'm stuttering too much to be a preacher, so I'm not a preacher. I really am just up here because I wanted another chance to speak in front of a large crowd. But instead of comparing Thousand Oaks to a gateway, or the first step on a long journey of our future zigzagging life, or a tool master hand forging us a toolkit, I can look back at TO and say more than just, yeah, it was high school. I can look back at TO and say, yeah, it was high school. I'm going to miss some of it. Sure, not all of it, but most of it. But missing it means that I did it right. And it only took advantage of most of what was offered, but it filled me with a desire not to settle for anything else that'll happen later in life. Something that'll happen next. Ooh, next. Next is a big phrase we start hearing a lot nowadays. It's always next. People, they're telling us that we're prepared for what's next. But they've always done this. Like elementary school. Elementary school, it was to prepare you for what was next. Middle school was next. And middle school was to prepare you for high school, because high school is next. High school, we're preparing you for college, because that's what's next. College, okay, we gotta prepare you for grad school, because that's what's next. Grad school, okay, we gotta prepare you for the real world, because that's what's next. The real world, okay, we're preparing you for retirement, because that's what's next. And sooner or later, we're gonna be next. At a certain point, you just gotta accept your situation and live. There's a better way to see life than looking for what's next, because think of it this way, we're all, in a way, different people. Each one of us, we are different people all through our lives. We're different people all through our lives, and that's okay. That's good. We gotta keep moving, keep going. So long as, in a way, you remember all the people that you used to be. I will not forget high school me, both for better and for worse. High school me was me, is me, and will continue to teach me. Yes, our TOHS selves may be buried after today, but they will never leave us. Do me proud, and do Thousand Oaks proud. Don't do the rest of life wrong, Lancers. I have faith.
That's my friend!